So good morning, everybody. You are all welcome to our weekly program. Today we are going to look at a very succinct topic: how to learn machine learning faster and productively. How to learn machine learning faster and productively. So it's part of our important clarification series with always the team, always let the data speak concepts, and which is always going to ensure that you don't miss opportunity or you don't miss the necessary insights in your data set. And also with the vision of making AI machine learning accessible, ethical, and life-changing positively. So you're all welcome on board, either new member or stellate who have been with us for some time. So wishing you all the best. The first thing, very important, is for us to always look at the iterative machine learning model building framework. It is iterative, starting with the collection of your data. Once you collect data set, so there are a lot of pre-processing you can make. Data preparation, feature engineering, and also further, so many. However, we do encourage us to do as minimal as possible. Do as minimal as possible, because sometimes some of the preprocessing options are actually not necessary, not compulsory. Do what is compulsory, that without it, you can't move further. But those things that are optional, like normalization, you can always come back to check. Maybe normalization will make my work better. But once your raw data is okay, it's ready to go into the modeling stage, proceed to modeling stage, select the algorithm, and then run the modeling, check your performance. You can always go back. Go back here, do more hyperparameter optimization, or you may need to change your algorithm or other things that you can do at this stage. If need be, you may need to go back to the data stage where you do more feature, more pre-processing, normalization, feature engineering, adding more feature, remove more feature, doing feature selection, and also for that you can do. You keep doing this until the model reaches a satisfying performance. We will revisit this shortly with the principle of let the data speak diagram that will make it even more clearer. However, as participants in a regular program, or as a newcomer, you just join us, don't worry. It's very straightforward. And that is what the topic says. How can you learn machine learning faster and start using it? You see, the best way is as you are learning, you practice what you are learning. This is the best way. And that's why we put together few concepts which we already recorded in our videos. We are going to recommend them for us. Either you're a newcomer, you want to, or you are still struggling to catch up. Let's look at it together. On the how to learn machine learning faster and productively. It's not just learning it faster, but you are being productive. You are able to do something tangible that you yourself can be proud of, that, wow, with this also number of days, this is what I've achieved. This is very much better. This is very much possible. So we said that for those that joined us recently or still struggling to catch up, I recommend that you first start by watching the following 4 revision videos from our YouTube channel. Check them out. We made it so simple to understand. And we cover some of the basic concepts of machine learning. We call it revision part 1, revision part 2, revision part 3, revision part 4. If by the time you are done with 1 or 2, you can check out to the next. You can check out the next. By the time you are done with part 1, part 2, you already will be comfortable with some of the basic concepts of machine learning. how to do it, what you can use it for, the application areas. However, it's better to watch the entire series in 4 parts. Inshallah, by the time you are done with all these videos or part of them, maybe 1 or 2 of them or 3 of them, then they should definitely be support you to learn the basics as soon as possible. However, you're always welcome. Feel free to contact for further clarification, questions, as the case may be. This is one of the reasons why we have this weekly program. So we have a short presentation at the beginning, and then after, you have time to ask questions. As you are trying to practice, you're facing some challenges, you can ask your question for one-on-one. That is why we have this regular live section for you to clarify and ask questions about what you are trying to practice. So don't just keep learning without practice. You have to learn and practice. See, put your hands on practical application, and that is why the next slide is going to talk about another set of videos. At the moment you have an idea of what is machine learning, from watching part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, or even after watching part 2, you should be having some fair understanding of what is machine learning. You can jump to the next one, where that is how to learn machine learning faster and productively. Number 2. So after watching the 4 videos earlier provided, which is general introduction to machine learning concept and techniques, it is now time to learn practically how to build your first machine learning model in weaker environment. Very straightforward. See, that is a no coding idea. You don't need to know how to program. You don't need to code. If you know how to code, that's fine. Put it aside first. Know how to use machine learning. There's a difference between coding and machine learning. See, we want you to know the principle of machine learning and be able to deploy it towards solving your intended problems. So let's get focused. Even as a programmer, I still use Weka sometimes if I have to get some things quickly done. Because in programming, you can't predict. Sometimes you can get stuck with a code. Just a line of code may give you a problem you need like 2-3 days to sort out. So, however, with no coding scheme like Weka environment, you get your job done, and there's no discrimination. Either you use coding or you don't use coding. It is acceptable everywhere. See, the only thing you make sure you follow the principle of machine learning, which is what we should focus more on. So, and I said, follow the following video series, which we have Hello World from Machine Learning Model. So, this is the first part 1 of the video. It describes how you can start from the scratch in weaker environment and build your first model. Part 2 is there, part 3 is there. By the time you watch part 1, you can successfully build your first model with free data set available, and especially the reference data set, which has often been provided in our platform on the WhatsApp group. You can check it out there. So this should support you to build your first model within few hours. Yes, within few hours, you should be able to build your first model. Let's say you spend like 1 hour or 2 hours to watch, 1 hour, 30 minutes watching the introductory video above, the first one. Then within the next 1 hour again, you are expected to start building your first model. That's why I say if I be doing 2.5 hours, you will get your first model out with clear understanding of what is doing and what is going on. Again, you're always welcome. Feel free to contact for further clarification, questions, as the case may be. Yeah. Moving forward, further different angles to solving problems using the machine learning-based solutions or AI-based solution. There are 2 ways depending on your background. To those people from diverse background, you are not in computer science, that's fine. What you need to do is to think and brainstorm about your area of specialization or interest and see how you could utilize ML modeling towards improved outcomes. What do you want to use it to solve? You're a civil engineer. You want to use to predict the strength of material? You see? Or any other application areas. You can check out some of our YouTube channel. We've discussed several practical application areas you can actually think of. Conflict resolution, disaster management, so many areas from humanities, science and engineering, medical applications of machine learning and AI. We discuss several of them. So think of what you think is interesting to you in your own area or field of study. Model it, disseminate your outcome. Further think of how you can improve upon your earlier achievement through coming up with more advanced machine learning algorithms or techniques like hybrid or ensemble modeling. You can keep doing that for somebody who is not from computer background. For someone who is from computer background, that is, so the people from computer science related background, clearly think and brainstorm about areas that may be in their need of improved outcome if provided with machine learning modeling capabilities. And then step in, come in. You have the solution in your hand. See, come in, see an area, oh, this area I think needs, if we can use ML here, that would be very, very interesting. You see, imagine there's something we call crossroad. At crossroad, you want to do guidance and counseling for people at crossroad. I quickly think about, at crossroads, you have options in front of you. Why don't I use machine learning to implement this concept? So that I can predict when your crossroad, at what point are you going to be at the crossroad? And which particular crossroad are you going to be? So that you can have the idea ahead of time and you have time to consult professional guidance and counselors to be able to give you the best possible counseling that is possible. Because once you are at the crossroad, you need to take a decision and you need to take it fast. So machine learning can provide that opportunity for you, predictive, preemptive, proactive modeling, whereby you can have an idea of what you will be confused about in the next few weeks. And you can start consultation earlier. That's just an example. So I can think of an area, what of medical diagnosis? We can predict somebody is sick at a very early stage before it is too late. So think about different areas that you can build machine learning model for. After you are done with that, you further think of how you can improve upon your earlier achievements. Whatever you have achieved here, think of how you can improve upon it, either through producing more advanced ML algorithms or like hybrid ensemble modeling. Sometimes also, thirdly, you can also develop totally new machine learning algorithm, not existing one. Build it from the scratch, or a totally new hybrid concept or ensemble concept that is previously unknown. So these are depending on your background. You can make a lot of difference by appropriately utilizing machine learning to improve the outcome. That it can enhance and amplify the capacity and capability of human being. This is the essence. Now, so talking about the modified iterative machine learning modeling framework to support let the data speak. The principle of let the data speak always ensure that you don't miss any insight. Important insight should not be missed. You see, that's why when we mention this, once you get your data set and it's ready to go, let it go in. As close to the raw data as possible with little pre-processing. Go in there, do your modeling, check the performance. You can always go back. At this level, when you go back here, you can do hyperparameter optimization. You can change the algorithm. You may want to make ensemble, you may want to make hybrid, or just keep changing different type of ensemble, different type of algorithm, and you may come up with a totally new algorithm. You see? However, it is always very good at the beginning to first of all stop at this level. Don't go to ensemble straight. Once you are compulsorily, you have to do hyperparameter tuning, hyperparameter optimization. It is compulsory. Once you are done with that, you may need to change the algorithm. Maybe decision tree is not working. What of k-nearest neighbor? What about support vector machine? Keep trying options. Then you may go back, word again, go back here. Do maybe normalize the data. You can see here, we can do a lot of things. Normalize the data. You want to do log transform of the data, maybe to make your result better. You see, sometimes you may want to construct new attributes. You see, under the feature engineering. Sometimes you may want to undo missing data. You may want to treat the outlier. See, you may want to reduce noise. And also for other things you can do. See, sometimes you may have to data down sampling, that is the one we call clustering, or attribute down sampling, which is called feature selection. All these are optional. Once you do one, you quickly do modeling and see the result and put it somewhere. Go back again and do another modeling, another preprocessing, because you don't know which preprocessing is going to give you the best result possible. Don't assume. That is what we call let the data speak principle. Once you abide by this, it ensures that you don't miss important insight in your data set. More details about this I will going to recommend. So for us to read, it's a must read for everybody. The concept of let the data speak, which is one of our new books that we just released. I strongly recommend for us to check it out. One of our regular, someone joined us not long ago, maybe less than 6 months ago, or 7 months or thereabout, working on PhD, and he was lucky that Let the Data Speak book came out shortly after he joined us, and he bought the book and read the book. That was his own personal kind of commendation he sent to me. He called me, we chatted. He then said that he was so lucky that he got this book and he attended our session, because he has been working on his PhD for some time, but got stuck because of lack of getting the result that was intended. The results were not very good as expected. So when he read the Let the Data Speak, he now realized that, so it's not compulsory I must do normalization before I use my data. He now went back and used the data before normalization, and surprisingly, he achieved excellent results. As I'm talking to you last 2 weeks or so, he contacted me that he did his defense. He was able to defend his PhD, as he was able to overcome the major obstacle that has been facing him for a long time, that prevented him from going ahead with the finalization of his PhD. That is how important the concept of let the data speak. You see, it's a norm everywhere. Once you get data, you normalize, you do missing value treatment, you do outlier treatment. People do a lot of things. No, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. You will miss insight in the data by doing this. So do it one by one. Original data, let it go in, check the result. Okay, that's why we recommended in that book, we recommend the idea of multi-channel pipeline. You see, when you create pipeline, make it multi-channel, so that one pipeline can deal with normalization, another channel can deal with handling missing value, another one can deal with outlier treatment, another one can deal with feature selection, and several other preprocessing options that are optional. Even missing value could be considered optional. Missing value treatment is considered optional if I'm using decision tree, because decision tree has that inbuilt capacity or capability to treat it automatically. So I don't need to waste my time doing that. It will be done automatically. It means most of our preprocessing that we spend a lot of time on may end up making us not getting the right result. Just like the case of one of our member here that I cited, and we are very happy today that he has been able to defend his PhD successfully after implementing the concept of let the data speak, by going back to check his original data for modeling, and he found out that the original data got better result, better than the normalized data. And we have seen several cases like that, where normalized data achieve lesser result than the original data set. And towards the end of this presentation, to give room for us to ask questions if there are, let's remember, always let the data speak. Start with raw data set before applying too much preprocessing. That is the message. start with the raw data set, as close to the raw data as much as possible. Once it is possible to model it, go ahead and model it. Even when you have missing value, use algorithm that support inbuilt missing value treatment, like data, like the decision tree families. You can use them. See, always use iterative process idea. That is, you can always go back, bear it in mind. Since you can always go back, there's no issue, there's no need to spend all your almost 60% of your time doing pre-processing. Unfortunately, some of those pre-processing you are doing may not be necessary. And they may even make you to miss the insight. So do the barest minimum, move on, you can always go back. As the system indicated, you can see, we can always go up, go forward, run it again, you can go back. So since you can go back, that iterative mechanism is the big game-changing system. Remember, machine learning is not a dogma. Try different algorithms and options. You see, machine learning is not a dogma. There's all these concepts were well covered in the Let the Data Speak book. Some people thought, oh, somebody told me support vector machine is very good, I'm going to use it in my project. No, it may not work for your own data. Yes, support vector machine is very strong. We've used it in several of our projects, but we have also used it in some projects that it doesn't work. See, so ML is not a dogma. You need to try different algorithms and options and see which one works for you. So sometimes when people are writing proposal, they usually require them to mention some algorithm they're going to use. Yes, it's good. Mention some. But mentioning that we are going to check during the implementation, it maybe we get some that are better than this one, or as the case may be. Or as the case may be. Because the one you have mentioned that you're going to use, they may not give you the best once the data start arriving. You see? So it's always good to mention that there may be need to change some of this algorithm that you have proposed in line with the principle of let the data speak. So always let the data speak. And remember, you only take the next step based on what you can deduce from the data modeling outcome. This is where experience matters. You see, whatever you have achieved, then from experience, make consultation with experts, you can see how to proceed to the next stage of your work. Let's take note of this. We always try to let the data speak. Then we're going to recommend a couple of how they work for us. Yes. Other learning resources for making faster and beneficial progress. This will be recommended for us. The first thing is our book, a new book written by Professor Adam Olatunji, Let the Data Speak. Very beneficial book. I just gave you a little snippet of it. How it facilitated the completion of a PhD that has been kind of delayed. So due to understanding that particular concept, it said, stop guessing, start letting your data guide real decisions. So this book is your roadmap to mastering machine learning, data science, and analytics the smart way, without confusion or costly mistakes. It's a must read for students, professionals, and anyone serious about data science. You can get your copy there, as the case may be. Another recommended material for us that can support also for for us to make faster and beneficial progress is the one I call Machine Learning Made Simple. That is, you don't need to use coding. You want to understand AI without coding? This 2.5 hours crash course is a 2.5 hour. Within 2.5 hours, you complete this course, and you can get it through Seller, and you can also get it from Udemy. The same course is hosted in Udemy. Whichever one you prefer, you can get it there. However, the other one is for those people who are into research or who want to venture into seeing, okay, how can I write machine learning-based research papers? And the good thing in data science and machine learning and AI is you are expected to document what you have done. So again, another course also we put there towards making this knowledge accessible to people. So writing machine learning-based research papers. It's designed to help you master the structure of MLB research paper, write strong abstract, methodologies, and results, communicate your machine learning-based project with clarity and impact, build confidence in academic and professional writing. So as a student, researcher, and aspiring data scientist, this course will guide you through. So you can check it out from the seller also. It's also available on Udemy and those of others. However, some of those ones I've recommended earlier, especially this one, is very much okay, suffices. However, based on demand of people, because this is a YouTube channel, so people go there in order to avoid distraction. People prefer a built course. That was why we put them together there. So it's something also similar to what you are going to learn from here. So if you're able to follow this, that is also equally fine for you. However, people also like where they can learn and also they can get their certificates. That was why this is also put there. And hopefully it benefits us, benefit everybody as much as possible. So feel free to, we are going to share this slide in our platform. If you have not subscribed to our WhatsApp group, please try to do. We share it, feel free to share with colleagues, with friends. Our aim and objective, as we said, is we want to make AI and machine learning accessible, ethical, and life-changing positively as much as possible. So don't keep it to yourself, benefit others. Thank you very much. And so many other areas you can do. Bankruptcy prediction, medical and biomedical prediction, absenteeism prediction. You want to know which of your staff is going to be absent from job tomorrow. So, and so many things, educational data mining. You want to know students who may drop out of a college. Don't wait for him to drop out. You can be able to have a system that can predict it, and you can work with the student to prevent him or her from dropping out. We call this EDM, educational data mining, and so many other application areas that we can all look into. So that's what we're going to have for the day. So we're going to give room for questions and answers. Thank you very much all for listening. So wishing you all the best.